the biggest station in the world, playing all of today's hits. You're listening to Instinct Radio.
Hey guys, it's me, Wanda D, the Motivational Queen, and we're back inside of Instinct Radio Studio. This is the I Am Enough show, and joining me is my co-host, very special co-host, Yummy Smith. And we also have a very special guest inside of the studio tonight via Zoom. Don't you just love technology?
I do.
So our guest is Miss Tammi Morrison. She is the CEO and founder of Unleashing Your True Self, LLC. She's also an intuitive healer and a best-selling author of Unchain Me Mama. It was #1. So I got to get into all of that. How you doing, Miss Tammi?
Great. How about yourself?
We're doing super fantastic. Thank you for joining us today.
It's my pleasure.
So just real quick, Tammi, tell us a little bit about yourself. Like, how did you even get on the journey of, let's start with writing. How long have you been writing? All your life?
Yes, that's why I laughed. I've been writing all my life, but professionally just in the last year.
Okay. And so when the book, how long has the book been out?
The book came out October of last year.
Okay. And tell us about that journey, that process, and what's the book about and all that kind of good stuff.
Okay. So the book is called Unchain Me Mama, and it is an anthology with 9 of us women telling our stories about relationships with our mother. Most of them were transformational stories of healing. Some of them were just stories of reckoning. I mean, there's 9 women, so you can imagine there were 9 different stories.
Right.
And how I got on the journey is I actually answered a call on Facebook about, writing a story about my mother.
Okay.
And to be perfectly honest, y'all, it was almost like an intuitive thing because when I answered the call, I really didn't even know what I was going to write about. I just knew that it felt right.
Okay.
It felt like something that needed to be done, and so the process was a healing journey for me as well.
Okay.
Because that when you have crazy relationships, I don't know about anybody else, but my first go-to instinct is to stuff and repress it.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's
you stuff it and you repress it and you push it down and so the writing process was one that was so healing. It was cathartic. I mean, I cried, I laughed, and I think about it now. It's like it was just a story. You know what I mean? It was one of 9 stories.
Right.
So I can't even imagine what it would have been if I had to write a whole book about it.
Right. So what part of the book did you share? I really want to get it and read it for myself. But what part of your journey with your mom did you share in the book?
I shared, my story was basically like, it was more from an emotional part.
Okay.
I didn't have the story of being physically abused or, some of the girls had stories of, their mothers were mentally ill. And so they came from that vantage point where they were abused and, burned with cigarettes and all types of stuff like that. I didn't have that story.
Wow.
So I was like, when I read some of the other stories, I was like, I don't even know if I belong here.
Right. but we all do. We all have our own stories, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Yeah.
Exactly. And the thing is what I realized from writing my story after I read some other people's reviews. And I had people reach out to me and tell me how much of a blessing it was to read my story and how it helped them, to heal the relationship with their mother. Then I understood and I realized why I was a part of the project.
Okay.
And I realized that it was not only a message for healing for myself, but that it was, what we anticipated. Because in writing the book, that was kind of our goal, was to help people to have this conversation. Because people don't really want to have it.
Right.
They don't want to talk about, the good, the bad, the ugly, the pain and the shame and the neglect and all these things that happened in the relationships with our mother, particularly in the African American culture, and each one of us was in our culture.
Right.
We don't want to talk about our stuff.
Yeah. Well, you hit something there when you said you can't heal what you can't feel. You have to go through those emotions, processing those emotions in order to heal it. So that's a blessing. And you're in Arizona now, right?
Yes.
But you're not from, where are you from originally?
Savannah, Georgia.
Savannah, Georgia. Yeah. We got an original peach in the house, y'all. Y'all need to give it up one time just for that. You got some big claps on that one. A lot of peaches and what do they call the guys? Pears.
There's a word, but we probably don't want to put it on the air.
Peaches and pears? No, that's not what they call them. Okay, I give up. All right, so I know. You got to have fun. What was some of the tough things in writing the book? What was like something that you maybe had to overcome in writing it? I mean, because I know for me in writing, it was a poem that I struggled with, and it took me, it took me months. I think it really took me about a year, because when I end up taking it to sending it to get the final, draft and final approval, I was just like processing, like, okay, I got to let this go. And it was like, now I'm really exposed. So what was that like for you?
For me, to be perfectly honest, it was more of how would my mother deal with it.
Exactly.
Because
exactly.
we had healed a lot of our relationship, by the time I wrote the book,
Mm-hmm.
But when some of the things that I talked about, I don't think she really realized the impact that those things had on me.
Wow.
Like I talked about, a time when, I felt like my mother was overbearing and that she held me to ridiculously high standards that I didn't think I ever was going to be able to make.
Wow.
And I felt like a lot of things that she did really affected my life later on, and I thought, God, if she had only did this, she had only did that. But then
we don't know.
The part of the healing process in the growing up process as well is, taking responsibility and owning your shit and your part in the process, and also realizing that not only was she my mother, but she was a woman on her own,
with her own hurt and everything else.
Or she had her own shit going on, and that was the thing.
Right.
It's like, she has stuff that she has to process, not just my little world.
How did she receive it when she read the book? Was she able to read it? She was good. She
actually was one of the first people to buy the book in print, and she bought it in digital.
Awesome. I had that experience when my mother read the book, because she supported me through every situation, every adventure, every step that I was on. And when my book came out, and actually she was part of my process of letting her read some things, before I actually went all the way with it. And one thing she said to me, though, I never forget that. She said, I didn't know that that's how you felt.
Yes.
So it was like a great lesson for me, and also lessons that I share with other people, is it hurts to get vulnerable and it hurts to talk, but sometimes that's what we need. So it's like to have those hard conversations of, I want to sit you down and say something, and then we just going to have to pick up the pieces from there. But she said, I didn't know that's how you felt. And so it was just a beautiful experience, even her reading all of it. And she was just like, she's my number one fan, my number one cheerleader.
Yes.
Yeah. Yummy, you have any questions?
I'm just listening, because that's deep. That's really deep. And I'm glad that you was able to write a book and actually do that, because so many times, because it's our mother, we don't want to, tell the truth, really. We hide behind the truth, and we continue to do it. The older we get, we continue to do it. And so that's big right there. That's really deep. And I just want to congratulate you on that.
Yeah. Thank you. It was the thing of it is it was like, the deeper I got into the project, because to be honest, we did it in just a few months. Mm-hmm. But the deeper I got into the project, and the more I, had to put out there, and then, we had edits, and I had to fix stuff, and and it was like, oh my God, and the closer it got to launch, I was like, oh my God,
You get nervous.
I started having butterflies, and I was like, oh, my mom, she's gonna read this, and see, that I really, I went through a period where I felt like I hated her, and
Right.
I don't like to even use that word because I believe it's so strong. I
Yeah.
don't think any of us really know what that is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I didn't want, I didn't want to hurt her. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I knew that it was something that needed to come out. I needed to heal, from it, and also other people needed to heal.
Right.
Because I realized there's so many women in the world, that went through the same type of thing. And also, like I said, from a cultural standpoint, in our background, it's like, we already have to be 200 times better than the next
Everybody
person.
else. That's
We
right.
already have to, if their shit is correct, ours has got to be overcorrect. We got to have a W on our chest. We got to, be Superman and shit. And so, in that retrospect, I was like, well, you know what?
Put the thing up there.
It's okay. Because I'm healing. And also, like, you said about your mom, she said the same thing. She said, I didn't know you felt that way.
Right. Right. So it gets real deep. Now, I know that you're a intuitive coach, correct? Am
Yes.
I okay? So tell our viewers, tell our listeners exactly what does that mean.
Okay. What that means is helping people to learn how to hear, to listen to their higher self, to listen to the spirit of God, the universe, whatever it is that you call him or her, whatever that being is to you, but to listen to it and actually act on what you hear. Because a lot of times we know what to do because everything that we're doing now, we've already seen, we've already dreamed, we've already
Right.
been there. So we know what to do, but we don't act on it and we don't listen to it. So in the process that this journey that I started, I knew that, this was something that I needed to help other women, especially of a certain age, because you guys know that as you change, as each decade comes, you change.
That's
Every time
right.
you turn a certain age, you grow and you change, hopefully. But most of us grow and we change. So we have to learn how to navigate those waters and see what it is, we need to do next.
Right.
Because I feel like I'm turning 50 this year. So I feel like this is the step into my new purpose, my new light, the new thing that I'm supposed to do. I feel like, life has really just begun. Like it's a
Right.
whole new level, that I'm on. So this is what I want to help other women, and this is what I do in helping them to, navigate those waters and listen and take those steps. Because we all have different things that we've been through and different things that stop us and different belief systems that, we have had from, past, from growing up, that we have to get out of,
Right.
you know.
So how long have you been coaching or mentoring in that process?
I've only been doing it about a year.
About a year. And what are some of the things that you've like stumbling blocks or some of the things that may have gotten in the way of being on that path? Because I know when you start something new, because you're kind of switching over and you're saying, hey, I'm a do this. You woke up one day. What was that process? What really said, I'm going to do this? And this is what I want to do.
So I've been in the nursing field for 25 years. Well, 27 years really. And I knew that it was something else I needed to do because, you can't, nursing has changed. You can't do it, like you have been doing. It's not a nurturing thing anymore. It's a money thing. And, it's gotten to be so much paperwork that you don't even have time to spend with patients. You barely get to know their name. You almost really just know their room number. And so I knew that, that's just not what
you didn't want to stay in nursing under those conditions.
I don't want to end my life doing that.
Okay. Awesome.
So I started seeking and searching for, what was the next thing that I needed to do. And I started, going inside myself, and to be honest, I discovered Reiki.
Okay.
So I started taking, Reiki classes, and I finished that. I'm a master Reiki, and then I took also a theta healing class because, I knew that there were some things that I needed, to heal in my own life in order to be able to help other people. And to be perfectly honest, it really kind of started evolving because when I started this business, it really was just like, I'm going to do this on the side, blah, 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 blah. And then as I started to just investigate and I started to deal with people and I started to get, different clients and see exactly what it is they needed, I realized that, not only do they need healing, but I need to do this and I need to be a part of that process. And I don't look at it like I'm the only one that can do it or I'm the only one that can help. No, I'm just one of many people that can do this and that need to do this. And if, you resonate with me, then, you come and work with me. But, it may be somebody else that you resonate with because my particular brand of how I do things may be different than what it is that you need. Mm-hmm. But, I put it out there so that, it's something that you resonate and you come and you're, a good fit and we're a good match and we can work together. We do. Okay. But I know that I can help them because I know that I have helped myself.
Right. And that's interesting because I find that most of the time, nurses, caregivers, that's like a something that's in your spirit anyway to yes. serve and to care. I have a cousin that she was kind of frustrated with traditional nursing. Yes. So she's on a path now of more or less like holistic nursing, which is great because she's certified in the per se medical arena field of nursing, but then she's also getting some instructions and going through that whole process of the whole holistic, adding that to yes. her practice. So that's beautiful. And that's just a normal thing. I think as people, and especially as women, those are just our natural gifts in terms yes. of nurturing, in terms of, hopefully tapping into our intuition and yes. using that fully. I talk about that a lot on the show Monday through Friday. Yeah, I do, right? I tell everybody, I say, I'm going to say the same thing over and over again. It's going to sound the same. It's just might come out a little differently. But the reason being is because I understand that we have these gifts. And for a woman, you were created super special and yes. and with so much like superpower to give life. I mean, just think about it. You were able to give life. So yes. that right there, you had to feed that child everything that they needed, in their DNA. You had to be the one to put it there. So it's because of what we did for your babies to be born the way that they are. Yes, so yes. when we realize that, then you realize I had to come to the conclusion, was like, wow, that's a big responsibility. So that's another reason why, one of the things I'm very cautious of, and that's words, like how do you use these words? Yes. If you say words that's kind of like going to be a struggle, then what are you expecting from that? So you gotta be very mindful of that. What is some advice that you want to give somebody that may be thinking about going into that path, changing out of, because I'm sure if the nursing field was presenting those problems for you, I'm sure that there's other people that they present the same concerns for. So what is some advice that you could offer someone?
So I would say definitely listen to your intuition. And I like to really kind of use caution when I say that, because people take that in so many different ways. Mm-hmm. And they make it more complicated than it is. And it's like most of the time, especially as women, we're already hearing our intuition. Mm-hmm. Because women have it anyway.
Right.
Men have it, but women definitely tap in more. So that would be one thing. And then the other thing is be prepared for the journey.
Wow.
Because, if you are
definitely a journey,
is called to heal, and, and I say that loosely because I don't, because a lot of times what I'm seeing in this space is that people who are healers are almost like, it's like they're putting themselves in a place of, being Christ. Mm-hmm. know, and not saying, you know, we're supposed to be representatives of that, but they're putting themselves in a place where, you know, they want to be like the person, the only one, the guru, this, that kind of stuff. No, don't put yourself there. You know, stay in a place of humility.
Right.
Definitely
That's
fill your
awesome.
day with gratitude, because, you know, I've been noticing that so much. And to be perfectly honest, I actually have been taking Facebook breaks because some of that stuff is disgusting to me. You know, because yes, you are put here to help people and to be healers and all that stuff, but you are not the only one.
Right. And then too, you I would say, we always say that, you know, there's you know, you have to teach people to be self-sufficient. You know, like, you don't
Yes,
need to come to me to be healed. You need to just go to yourself, you know, like go inside your own closet and deal with some
yes,
things, you know, start some writings, you know, get grounded, you know, like some tools
yes,
that people, because I do guided meditation, and I know
yes,
I've helped people with just the process, but after that it's like you step away and then you got to do this thing on your own. You know, it's like you and you know, that's
yes.
it. It's so, you know, so I'm glad you shared that. You know, I mean, you got anything you want to add?
I'm
No.
It's
just
definitely
listening.
a teach people to fish type of thing.
Right,
You
exactly.
know,
That's
because
ex-
I mean, you can give people, you know, stuff all the time, and then they're dependent on you, and then you become God to them.
right, and that's not what we
I can't
want.
do that.
Right,
No.
right. Everybody gotta gotta get it, you know, get it on them, on their, for their self, basically. And
Yes.
and what are some of the goals that you have now in place? I know you started your business, and you know you're getting acclimated to making those changes. Do you have
Yes.
any other goals or projects that you have rolling out soon, or just anything
Yeah.
that you want to tell us
I
about?
I have a 3 week session right now coming up in July, and it's called Hit the Reset Button.
Oh, I like the
That's
name.
good.
Yeah. And you know, the funny thing is, it came to me one day in the middle of the night. You know,
Okay.
I had put it out there. I was like, Lord, you know, I need to know, you know, something that's going to help the women. And what I'm learning is that a lot of times people want to put on these year-long programs and stuff, but you know, people need short stuff,
Yes.
you know, because
Mm-hmm.
they got busy lives,
Hmm.
Yeah.
you know, and you can do something for 3 weeks or a month, you know, much easier than you can commit to something that's a year or 6 months or, you know, 9 months, you know, even 3 months sometimes, you
Right.
know. And so what I asked him was to give me some programs that could help people in a short period of time.
Time.
And then
Mm-hmm.
if you need more, you know, I'm available because I do all types of sessions. You know, but I have this 3 week program, and I include in it a 21-day journal
I
that
was
I
gonna say that's at 21. That's a sweet spot, because that's about how long it takes to really, you know, start a new habit. So
actually,
that's
and
good.
I did a 21-day meditation challenge in my group.
Okay.
That was actually phenomenal, and it helped a
Awesome.
lot of people. And I did, like, instead of because here's another thing that I learned: people, they begin meditation. It's hard to do meditation for 30 minutes, an hour,
It
you know,
is.
2 hours when you first start. So I did them from 5 to like 15 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Yeah.
meditations. And I've
Yeah.
done some, and I have some guided ones on my YouTube channel. And I also just picked different ones out that I felt like would help people to get into the habit of meditating. And so
Awesome.
that's something that I, you know, that's on my heart because I know that it's necessary, and it's one of the things that helps to open up the channels of your intuition is when you get quiet and you learn how to meditate.
Awesome.
So the Hit the Reset Button is starting July the 9th, and that's one of my programs that, you know, I say God gave me to help people, you know, to hit the reset button, to get into a different place. And if you know that that's something that you need, then, you know, that's something that I'm open to doing.
Okay. Work is now. Do you have a cutoff for the amount of people that can join the session?
I'm taking 13
Okay.
because I don't want it to be an overwhelming number.
Right.
Because, you know, the thing that I'm learning that in this particular type of industry, in the energy settings, you know, people want hundreds and thousands of people, but they don't realize
Yeah.
when
It
you
takes a
have
lot
those
of.
people, you got to carry those people energetically.
Yeah,
But
yes, you do. Plus, there's a special magic to what you do after your session. So
yes,
after you come out of that 21-day process, it's like, then what do you do? Some people will
exactly.
require you to walk with them a little bit more. Other people may, say, hey, that's it, I got it, I'm going on. So you have to, have that window of understanding that there's a flow of things that follows
Yes,
me. So I appreciate that. I think that's great information on just the program that's coming up, plus the way that you're doing it. I like that. I really like the way you're doing it. Guys, I want to let you know that you can call in the studio. Yummy, can you give them the number?
I sure can. It's 478-569-6474.
So if you guys have any questions, or even after Miss Tammi is gone, you can find her on YouTube. Miss Tammi, what's your YouTube channel?
uh,
Um,
it's Tammi Morrison.
Okay. Well, I thought you was gonna say something else. I was like, oh, what's what's
No,
really going on?
it's Tammi Morrison, Tammi with an I.
Tammi with the I, Tammi Morrison. Now, is that I meant to ask you this other question. Now, where are you hosting your workshop, your 21-day reset?
It's going to be a Facebook group.
Okay,
Because
so you're going straight through your Facebook group.
yeah, because I felt like if I create a Facebook group just for this particular thing,
Got
people
you.
can go back.
Got
Because the
you.
meditations will still be posted there.
That's
And then,
awesome.
we're going to offer, all types of intuitive readings and messages, weekly through that, and also a freedom call as well with
Okay.
them after it's over. So that, they're able to talk about, the things that they're dealing with. And if something else that we can do, we'll work through that.
Okay,
I
beautiful.
felt like if we do a Facebook group, then it'll still be there, and they can go back, month after month if they want to, because it'll still be available.
Awesome. Well, Miss Tammi, what's the best way for people to reach you? Share that information.
www.facebook.com/unleashing your true self.
Okay. Is that the only way, or do you have an email that you want to share, or do you just want them to come through there? Because some of our viewers might not be watching on Facebook.
They can come through my email, which is Tammi, Tammi, .unleashingyourtrueself@outlook.com.
Wonderful. And one more thing before I let you go, I just want to say that it was such a awesome experience that I had with you on the Queen's Roundtable. I think that was a beautiful, beautiful, much needed discussion,
Yes.
and I sat back and just kind of, I watched it over like twice myself.
Me too.
Just in getting the information off of there, because it was very powerful, and I want to just commend you for being part of the movement of bettering the people around you,
Yes.
because I think that if we all can just do a little bit with the people that we have, then that's what can change the world,
Yes.
So
Yes.
so I appreciate you for just picking up that answering the call to serve, because that's definitely what you're doing.
Yes.
And is there any last words you want to leave with our viewers?
Yeah, I really just want people to know that it's time. It's time to get in touch with who you are. And it's time to listen to your higher self, to God, your spirit, and begin to act on those things, because there's so many things that are happening in the world and so many changes that if you don't get in touch with your spirit, your higher spirit, you don't get in touch with God and make that connection, you're going to be lost.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much. We really, really, really appreciate you, and I can't wait to have you back on the show again. We definitely got to do a part 2. I want to hear from you after the 21-day process is over, and maybe you can have some of the ladies come on with you, and we can really, explore this thing together, because like I said, it's what's next. After when we do something, it's always what's next. So thanks again, Queen.
Thank you, and I really appreciate you, and I appreciate you as well, Yummy. You guys have been fun to hang out with, and I thank you for everything. Even, our conversation that we had probably was amazing, And I don't know if you realize how much of a blessing you are.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
And I did enjoy the Queen's Roundtable as well. That was so good.
Thank you, darling.
I'm hoping we do that again too.
Yes, 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 absolutely. Well, enjoy your week. Expect great things, and I will see you on the other side.
All right. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thank you. So, that's Miss Tammi Morrison, and I knew that you were gonna love her.
Yes.
So you was like,
Yes, I was just listening, taking it all in, taking it all in.
Yes. So, it's a great thing. Like I say, when we learn that our purpose is nothing more than from a person to a project. We go from people to projects. That's it. That's life. What project is next? What person is next? Either entering your life, leaving your life, hanging out in your life, however that works out for you. So guys, we're going to take just a quick break, and we're going to come back, and we're going to keep the show moving. And again, please like and share the video on Facebook. Remember to call in
at 478-569-6474.
Thank you, guys. We'll be right back. The biggest station in the world, playing all of today's hits. You're listening to Instinct Radio.